Alright guys, today's cook is a Nando's inspired chicken Big Mac. It's a Let's Cook with Lee original, and look, let's face it, we all know that the chicken Big Mac when it came out was probably the biggest letdown in fast food history. It wasn't very good at all, so it needed a bit of a kick in. But when I was in the supermarket this week, I saw the Nando's sauce and I thought, what could I do with this? What could I do something different? And in the back of my mind, I was like, let's do a chicken Big Mac. Let's do a chicken Big Mac, but combine the Nando's flavour. So this is what we did, and it turned out absolutely glorious. Now, the shopping list that you're going to need is you're going to need some chicken breast. You're going to need one chicken breast, a decent sized one, because we're going to be cutting it into two. You're going to want the Nando sauce, whatever sauce you prefer. You're going to need some mayo. You're going to need some lettuce. You're going to need some burger buns. I've gone for brioche. I know it's not quite the McDonald's way, but you're going to need 3 sections of a roll for each Big Mac, because it's got that central piece of bread in the middle, and you're going to want 1 slice of fake cheese, because that's how it rolls. So let's cook. So the first step is to prepare your chicken. This chicken breast had like a little bit extra, a tender, so I chopped that off, and then you hold down the breast on top and then slice the knife through it, holding pressure consistently, and as long as you get it in the middle, you should get 2 chicken slices that are of a similar thickness and size. Obviously, make sure that your knife is nice and sharp. So the next step is to get some cling wrap, and then get something like a rolling pin, saucepan, and just give it a bit of a beating. We're going to tenderize this chicken, but we're also going to flatten it, and we are going to make the surface area a little bit bigger, because we don't want it to be thicker, because we don't want something that's size of a book trying to go in our mouth. We want the chicken to be as thin as possible, even though when it cooks it will plump up a bit. There's not much we can do, but we need to do as much as we can to get it as thin as possible. So the first step is to actually marinate. So this is actually the Nando sauce that you can use to dip and whatever, but it's you look at the ingredients, we're using it as a marinade and it works. So you're going to pour over some of this, as much as you want, as much or as little, as much as you prefer. Pour it over, mix it all about. If you need some more, pour some more over, so it is fully coated. Once it is fully coated, you're going to put some wrap over the top of the bowl, and we'll stick this in the fridge for a minimum of 1 hour, ideally 4 hours or so. We're then going to make our sauce. Now, you've got the Big Mac sauce, which is usually mayonnaise, mustard, and some kind of relish, whatever you've got. Now what we're doing is we're using the Nando sauce and the mayonnaise. Now the Nando sauce is runny, so it is going to make this sauce a bit runny, so the final product is going to be a bit messy, but messy is fine. World champion and all that. So we'll make it, we're ready to go, and we'll put this to the side, ready for when we're ready to serve. Okay, make sure your chicken comes out of the fridge about half an hour before you're ready to rock, so it's not ice cold. We're then going to preheat this air fryer. Did it for a few minutes there. Then I sprayed it with some oil, stuck it back in there for 20 seconds whilst I was getting my chicken. So we're going to get the chicken, it's going to drop onto that searing hot air fryer base that's been heating up for 4 or 5 minutes. Pour those pieces in, including the little fella there, and this is going to cook for about 10 minutes. Now this is the eye test, because you don't want to overcook it. It's not going to take too long. This is a thin chicken breast. Really, make sure that after about 4 minutes you flip it, take it out after 8, and see how it looks. It may take 10, 11, 12, but you don't want to cook it for too long, because it is a thin chicken breast. Okay, so you want to make sure that this is juicy. So then we're going to prepare this and set this up in the traditional Big Mac style. We've got your Big Mac Nando sauce that we just made. Then you've got some sliced lettuce that we've shredded really, really finely, your single piece of cheese, then one of your lovely Nando's marinated half chicken breasts. Then we get the second piece of bread. And I've got to say, I toasted these as well. I just stuck them under the grill for a little bit. You've got to make sure you don't burn them. Then again, in with this Nando's mayonnaise sauce, followed by a second helping of our trusty greenery there. And it's well worth putting the greenery in because it does give it, a bit more complexity in the whole flavour, and it's part of what makes the Big Mac the Big Mac. We've then got our secondary chicken breast slice, and we are ready to finish up. So we go with a little bit more sauce, just so we've got sauce in multiple areas, and then the top, boom. Alright guys, welcome back to the taste test. We did something a little bit different here. We went for a bit of an original twist on a couple of real good classics, Nando's, the Big Mac. Everyone loves both of those things, and I just thought, let's just throw them together and see how it plays out. As I said at the top of the video, got that bottle of Nando sauce, and I thought, let's try and do something a little bit different with it, rather than just dipping it, using it as a dipping sauce, right? So we kind of used it as a marinade, and we used it to create our Nando's Big Mac sauce. And obviously the Big Mac sauce is usually like mayonnaise, mustard, and some kind of relish, but we've got the Nando's sauce. It's packed with so many different types of flavours. Mix it through a bit of mayonnaise. It's gone quite runny. So the eating of this is guaranteed to be a bit of a mess, but I think it looks pretty decent. I think keeping the chicken thin is definitely the way to go with this bad boy. So I'm expecting big flavour. I've gone with the traditional one slice of cheese and the two stack, obviously, shredded lettuce, and the 2 layers of sauce. I actually went for 3, and I think that's why it's going to be a little bit messy. Obviously, because the Nando sauce is quite runny, so it's made the kind of mayo concoction quite a runny thing, and I think I'm going to have to wow. I'm not really a spice person. That's why for the keen-eyed, you'll notice that the Nando's was the lemon and herb. What most people would call mild. But there's still a bit of a kick. And for me, there's a kick. For you hard nuts out there, it's probably not enough of a kick. But for me, this is absolutely ideal. Chicken marinated beautifully, all that lemon and herb coming through, the lettuce, the 2 stack. Let's go for it. Can't really see too much because I've absolutely completely squashed it, and ironically it's now more like an actual Big Mac because it's so squashed all over the place, so I can get into my tiny little gob. But there we go, another real success one. Love this. Gonna enjoy finishing this one, and I'm gonna enjoy eating that little tender that came with it. So let me know what you think. Give it a go.